Greetings, YouTubers. Well, today I am working on a 2005 Acura. Now, we did do the motor window. We had to replace the motor whole assembly in an earlier video. And the reason I'm doing this video is, well, one thing is we're ordering new brake pads and also rotors to put on the front. That will not be in this video. It's not that big of a deal. And since we replaced the motor regulator and everything on that side over there, let me get down here. Here is the old one. It was all apart, you know, came apart inside the thing, and I'll put a link to that video right about there. And the motor was good. It's just the wire on this came all apart. And when this wire comes all apart, the window just falls down into the side of the door, and you have to do all this. So here's the motor. The motor was good. It still went when you hit the button. So what we're going to try to do is, on this side, this motor quit working too. The window's still up in the track, and I've had this apart earlier, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. So what we're going to try to do is just swap out these motors. This one here just bolts on. I'm hoping we can use this. If not, well, it'll be a failed attempt, but there are some bolts there on the bottom. Hope we can just maybe use this motor on there. I don't see any reason why, but you never know. I could be doing this for nothing. In case you decide to do this, you'll know if it works or not. So we're taking this door panel apart, and you got a panel here you got to take off. There's some Phillips screws. You got two there. And let's see, on the bottom right here, you got a little plastic thing you got to take off. There's a screw there. And then you got to pop this trim piece off here, which goes right here. And you got a couple of screws here. I got one out in there. I got one more to go there. And then I believe we're just about ready to pop this panel off. So if this motor works, it'll be great. I don't think there's, like I said, anything wrong with the track. This thing just, the motor quit working. When I hit the key, turn the key on and hit the button here, I'll hear this clicking. So I know it's getting power over here. And the motor is not doing anything, so I don't think it's the switch. If the switch was not working, it wouldn't be clicking. So, all right, so we got that, and now what we got to do is go ahead and start pulling this off here. Let me set the camera up here. All right, sorry guys, I kind of started without you, but if you can get a spud, plastic spud tool behind here to get your fingers in here, that works pretty good. Now we'll just go ahead and start pulling this apart like this, and once we get all this apart, it should lift up like that. And now on the back, we'll have to unhook a couple of little clips. And actually, it's a plug, and your little wire right there, I think you can kind of see that where my finger is. This is where you open up the door. We got to unhook that, and we got this plugged in here. We unhook that, then this panel will come out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera real quick. It's pretty easy to get to. Alright, so we got just about everything there unhooked. Now, before you pull the panel off, I almost forgot to tell you, you can go ahead and just pop this off here and pull this up far enough and pull this wire out. I actually fished the wire out when it was on the door, but probably better to do it that way because you can actually break this. And now, all we got to do is pop this piece out here and take this light out. And there's a plug for the window and all that. And this is pretty much the complete door panel. And right here you got this little thing here. Once you turn this a little bit, it will release this out of the cable, and that little piece right there actually rides in that little groove right there. So yeah, probably the first thing you want to do, I couldn't remember how I did it on the other door, but pop this panel off here and pull this up and plug it that way. You won't break it there, especially right there. All right, so off to the side, and now we're going to pull this plastic back off here. And let's see, before we get too far, if I'm wasting my time here or not on this. Hoping we can fix it. All right, let me go ahead and pull this plastic off of here real quick. All right, so this actually popped off really easy, so I wanted to put this back on here, and I was going to try the door and everything with the key on over there, but I realized when I took the door off, this little guy popped off here, so you got to make sure this doesn't come out. and it sort of goes in here like this. It's got little prongs on it and it slides, and when you pop on this little handle right there, you see that on the side there, that little thing that moves? That actually moves these prongs on the back side of that right there. So we're going to make sure that's all good and all that. So we'll put this back in here kind of like that and put the camera down. Use both hands. Alright, there we go. Now when it's upside down, if I move that, see how that moves? That's how that works. So now let me put all this back together and see if we can get this motor to work. If not, we'll hook the other one up here temporarily and see if it works at all. Alright, it's all back together and we're not getting any movement on the door, so that thing's loose. So I don't know why it's not in there a lot more secure than that, but kind of weird. But we'll go ahead and hook this other motor up temporarily and see if it works at all. Alright, so, well, that was a failed attempt. It doesn't work either. And I don't know why, but I can hear it clicking. You can hear that clicking. And it's not working, so I'm going to take that motor in the garage. We're going to put 12 volts on it and make sure it does work. But I'm pretty sure it worked before, so I'm going to do that. Alright, the motor is working, and yeah, not pretty scientific, but at least it'll give me an idea. But see that? Oops. So the motor is working. So now I'll have to figure out what's going on over there. Okay, so I've got my test light here. I've got it grounded, and we're just going to hit one of these here and see if we have any power coming to this plug. Alright, so everything is off, so we should have no power. Now I'm going to hit the switch here and see if this works. Let's try the other one. So we got a light. See that light? So I know it's the motor that's bad. So right there we're getting power to the plug. So now we got to figure out how can we fix this motor cheap or even free. Alright, so we know this is okay, the switch is okay, except it's a little sloppy. We'll deal with that. Now the reason I figured this is not working, you got 6 wires here. This is for the driver's side, so it's a little more complicated. So if we can just get this motor off and stick it on that, this actually might work. So I'm going to try to get this motor out without taking this whole window out. So let me fish around for that and see what we can do there. Hey, let me know where you're watching from right now. Alright, so I got all these little screws out, and you gotta watch these little nuts back here. They'll slide out, but one's already inside. If you just wiggle this and pull this out, it should come pretty much out. There we go. That's basically all it is. It's a really long screw. Worm screw, if you want to call it that. And that's how we can pull this out and test it. Now before we put all this together, we'll run some power to it and make sure it still works. But if you put it back in, if it goes all the way in, then you know you're okay. Nothing fell off on the end here or anything. So alright, so I'll be back here. We'll see if we can get this maybe on and see if it works. Alright guys, I don't believe it after getting my hands in here and getting all 3 of these screws broke loose. I actually got the last one loose here, and out it comes. I don't believe this. So now the big question is, can I just get this motor out without well, that part came out. We can just get the rest of it. Let's see. Yeah. Figure out how I can get the rest of this motor out. If I get this motor out, I think we can fix this. Alright, after spinning this thing, it actually came right out. So, and you can see right there, see that shininess? Looks like it's been hitting there and there, so we'll see how right I am. So we'll go ahead and stick the other one in, and we'll meticulously put these little bolts back in there. And what I did, I tucked my hand on the motor and held it take a screwdriver there and turn these loose. So, and believe it or not, the little nuts that are on the back of the motor, they didn't fall off. They're still in there. There's 3, but if they fall off, you can probably fish them out, put them back in there, and just take your time at it. But let me go ahead and stick this in, see what we can do here. All right, guys, I don't believe it, but I got all 3 bolts in. If this works, it'll be a freaking miracle. And I shined the light down the other motor, well, the housing inside there, and made sure there was nothing in there, because I noticed the old motor here was missing. This one here's missing that little spacer. This one has spacers, but it's still in, so maybe this is why this motor didn't work. I don't know, but it's in, and look at my arms. Get you some cloths. All right, so we'll go ahead and bolt this up, and let's see if this thing works. We'll see. All right, it's running. Let's see if this works. I think you can see it there. Yeah, it doesn't work. We tried, but it clicks. I can hear it clicking. Relay is clicking. That is not moving. Let's do another electrical test on it. All right, well, we got it unplugged. Let's check the wire again here, see if we got any power. Hit the plug here, flip it on. Well, we got power. See it there? We got power going into the plug there. I think you can see it. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. It's lighting up. So I'm wondering if those little brushes in there need to replace. These are in good shape. The other ones didn't look too good. I wonder if I just replace these. Other than that, there can't be anything else wrong with it. So let me come back here, let me fool around with this and see if we can get it working one final time. Okay, guys, guess what? My hunch was right. You see those brushes? Well, I didn't change them out because there was no room. So what I did, I took my little tiny guy here and I bent these out a little bit more on here, put it all back together, and look at this now. We got it working. Heck yeah. So it goes to show, a little patience, I guess, will pay. I almost didn't have enough patience because my arm, man. But we got it. Yes, I'm excited. All right, everyone, after about an hour, it's raining a little bit. Got it, we're done. Get everything in. Although I did drop one of the little tiny square bolts, nuts that, but I have extra ones. But it's in, and guess what? It also goes up from that side now. I don't know. I tightened that wire up a little bit. I pushed that plug all the way in, but that was the only thing I did. But then again, maybe this thing has to reset. I don't know, but there's down, there's up. So kind of weird. It's seems like it's working pretty good now. So let me get it up there a little bit more, down. And I'm going to have to reset the windows, but it does go up and down on this side, so the switch over here is good. So all I got to do now is go ahead and put all this back together and go from there. So, hey, I amaze myself sometimes, but at least it's done. All right, we fixed that. Three Stooges, huh? Anyway, I put a little zip tie around that, and that forces that in there nice and tight. That's why the window wasn't going up on that side, because if I would shake this around a little bit, the window would start to go up. So I'll tighten that down now. Now I'm going on the other side, and the window will go up and down, down, and there's up. So that took care of that. So now all I gotta do is put together, hey, you know, maybe I'll get 10 or 15 views, and if you got one of these Acuras, you know, slash Hondas, parts, whatever, cars you gotta work on, maybe this little video will help you out. So I was able to save that motor. It didn't cost me anything. Just some scratches and some cussing words off camera. All right, wrap this video up. All right, we got our last piece on. Now, you know, I probably could have just bent those brushes earlier in that motor. Maybe this old motor would have worked again, but nevertheless, what I'm trying to say, you still got to pull this stuff apart, and that way now you'll know how to do yours if you have to. And the only piece I've got left here is this guy here. My fingers are all dirty. The car's going to have to be cleaned up a little bit, but we'll get this on here. And I want to show you that everything seems to be working okay. We'll have to use both hands to get that on there. There we go. Teenager's car, you know. But anyway, we'll shut the door now. And I got the key on. I'll reach over here and let's see if this window goes up and down. Yep. down, and now it goes up. So that's something you might try if your motor's not working. You might pull that motor out and maybe just bend those brushes a little bit. So when you do that, those brushes will get more contact right here on this armature and all that. So, but I don't know where the spacer is for this one. Maybe someone's had this apart before. I don't know. But the other spacer, you know, on the other armature, I put it in there. So seems to be working. This side works fine here. The button goes up and down. So, all right, guys, there you go. All right, everyone. So that's it for the video. So until my next video, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.